And so Reverend Roger dropped it off, and we went to coffee, and he said that he would have it done the next day. So I thought, I'm just going to walk there. It's a couple of miles, but, when you're in Europe, you just walk miles. You never even realize it. But then I thought, at halfway there, I'll just see how I feel, because I know that my friend Rick lives nearby, and maybe I can call him. So I'm, halfway up there, and you know how it's wonderful in the morning, and then around noon, we start feeling the sun, and we start perspiring, women glow. And, so I thought, I had my little cell phone, took it out of my pocket, and called Rick and said, I'm walking to the garage, but I'm about halfway there, and I know you live nearby, so maybe you'd like to take me the other half. Right? So what I know is, which he was very happy to do, is that sometimes we need each other to take us the next half of the journey. Sometimes there's the next leg of the journey, and the call to grow. And as we realize that we plant the seeds, we water the seeds, we nurture the seeds, we fertilize the seeds, and then we allow the roots to go deep into the energy of the Earth Mother, and to allow that energy to come forth in a greater way. Now, Bob Trask, in his Romancing the Soul, states in the little triangle that he has in the book about a be, do, and have relationship. And that when we are into our being state, we are being who we want to be. We are not looking outside of ourselves. We are not begging, bargaining, or beseeching an anthropomorphic God in the sky that may or may not grant us our wishes. Now, when George went golfing, he was so upset because they keep, I'm not a golfer, but I know the sand trap is not a good thing if you are a golfer. I do know that much. And he kept getting in the sand trap. And so finally he just shook, at God, shook his fist at God. Said, God, why me? Why me? And the heavens opened, the clouds parted. And the voice said, I don't know, George. There's just something about you that ticks me off. So that is not the God we believe in. We do not believe in an anthropomorphic God. We believe in a power and an energy and a divine presence and a warmth and a color, because you are as close to God as I am ever going to get. And I am as close to God as you are ever going to get. And when I am in that place in me and you are in that place in you, there truly is only one of us. So when we open the space to realize that this transcends any kind of condition, effect, or appearance. I watched a PBS special about St. Anthony's High School in New Jersey that is constantly needing to raise funds. They don't have a gymnasium. They have to rent a gymnasium. They are the all-star basketball team. Many of the NBAs graduated from St. Anthony's. And the coach he's a hard man. And when I was watching this, and I thought, those things he's saying to these boys, it's just incredible. Some of them were crying. Big old boys. And then there was Sister Mary Allen, who'd, over on the side, give him hugs. Tell him you're doing good. The coach, he gets upset, but you're doing good. And I love you. And little Sister Mary Allen would do this, but she'd see that particularly one of the boys was really taking it hard. And then she discovered that she had liver cancer. And so this was a real inconvenience for her, because she loved being at the school and she loved those kids. And what was so amazing is they gave her, it's always interesting when someone gives you 3 or 6 months to live, sort of like Arthur Godfrey. He said, I couldn't pay the bill, so they gave me another 6 months, that kind of thing. So she just would do chemo, and then she'd get back to school the next day. And she'd do chemo, and she'd get back to school the next day. So this diagnosis went on and on and on. She's still there 6 years later. They gave her an award. It was the Divine Spark Award. Now, I love that. She received from the student body the Divine Spark Award. That she was an energy, a loving energy. We know that the law of cause and effect, that their law is very hard and mechanical because it just gives us back what we've put into it. But there is a loving presence that says, behold, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. I have loved thee. And when we begin to recognize that wherever we go, there we are energetically. And that when we can hear a therapist stand up before us and say, I treat for my patients, and that I look at what life is reflecting back to me, I think how powerful our world and our universe is. That we begin to take responsibility for our lives. That not looking outside ourselves, and at times it's much more convenient to look outside, to point outside of us. The old, when we point with this finger, the other three and the thumb are pointing back at us, because it is about what we are putting out into the world that comes back to us. And if we don't like what's coming back to us, we get to shift it, change it. Here's the brushes. You paint paradise in you. So for every hard experience in life is this, I care about your presence on the planet. When that it's about the feeling that out of it, and just look at events and look at it very pragmatically, that they're just things that happen. It's up to us what we're going to hear. Some courageous stories about the triumph of the human spirit that arises through even liver cancer, that arises through kidney cancer, that arises through AIDS and HIV and all the things that I bought. In San Diego, I was doing every single week a couple of memorials. So when I would see that black wreath on the door and a mother crying and the energy of loss, that I know what that is, and that we can extend our hand, and it's the hand of grace and the hand of God by means of each and every one of us to comfort one another, and yet to arise triumphant and victorious, because the human spirit is amazing. The human spirit looks past so much and arises through so much. And it is up to us, each and every one of us, when we start to go into reaction, that we bring ourselves back. Rather than to react immediately, to bring ourselves back and to come up with made the call to his co-worker and said, I was out, and he said, the realtor said that you were, looking for places, and my mind kind of took off on that. Would you like to explain? Got the response, to respond and to realize that I'm included. That the call to grow is to know that I am included by virtue of the fact that we are here and we are part of the human family. We are. So today, as we make that commitment to our spiritual life, I think there's way too much reaction in the world. And when I start to do it and start to, some little childhood thing is triggered, then I go within and say, what is this really about? What can I do about it? If I can do something, I do it. If not, I release it. So today, as we come together to make that commitment, and to realize that we are part of something so much bigger than ourselves, so much larger than ourselves, and yet, in our energy field, there is love, there is truth, there is beauty, there is affirmation. And so today, I challenge each and every one of us this week, when we begin to react to something outside of ourselves, we sit down, be still and know that I am God, and that you are as close to God as I am ever going to get, and I am as close to God as you are ever going to get. So this morning, I say I greet you, not quite as the world greets you, but with profound esteem. God bless you.